Hey guys, in this video I'll be going over how to taxi, take off, and land the F-5. So to taxi, the F-5 has nose wheel steering. So you use this little button, this pinky button on your stick, and you hold it down, and whenever you turn your rudder pedals, it will turn the nose wheel. So in order to taxi, you just bring your throttle forward, you hold down the pinky button on the stick, and you turn your pedals to turn the nose wheel. Be careful turning because the nose wheel steering in the F-5 is super sensitive. In order to stop the plane, you just press down on the toe brakes. Alright, so now for takeoff. First you need to set your takeoff trim. If your plane is light like mine, all you need is around 6 degrees. So you can see the trim is right here. It's at 8 degrees right now. And the trimmer switch is this big black one on the stick. So I'm going to put it down to 6. If your plane is more heavily loaded, you can increase the trim. The manual says that the maximum you should put the trim is to 9. So next you need to make sure your flaps are in automatic mode. You come to your throttle and make sure this gray switch is all the way backwards. And next you need to raise the nose strut. So near the throttle, there's this switch up here. You just flip it up and it will extend the nose gear, and it will point the nose of the plane up, which will make it easier to take off. So for takeoff, you just push the throttle all the way forward, and once you get to around 150 knots, you can just pull the stick back and take off like that. Once again, since my plane is really light right now, for me, my takeoff speed is going to be around 150 knots, but if your plane is loaded up more, you might need to be faster when you take off. Alright, so let me push my throttle forward, and you can use your rudder pedals to keep you centered on the runway. Alright, there's 150, so I'm going to pull back now. And once you're off the runway, you can just raise the landing gear. And you don't need to worry about flaps, since the flaps are automatic in this plane. Then all you got to do is pull the throttle back a little bit to turn off the afterburner. And that's how you take off. Alright, now let's go over landing. First, you got to slow your plane down to around 250 knots. You can remember how fast by looking at this yellow line here. So once your speedometer hits that yellow line, you can go ahead and lower your landing gear. And just check that your flaps are in automatic mode. Once again, it's this gray switch on the throttle. You bring it all the way backwards. Once your gear and flaps are down, you just got to line yourself up with the runway. Whenever you are lined up with the runway, you want to basically just fly by feel and gently bring the plane down. You want to come in at around 145 knots, or maybe a little bit faster if your plane is heavier loaded. The F-5 has this little indicator here next to the display, which is to help you land. So if the indicator is green, that means your landing speed is good. If it's red, that means you're going too slow, and if it's yellow, that means you're going too fast. So once again, around 145, 150 knots when you're coming in, and when you touch down, you want to be around 135 knots. Also, just before you hit the runway, you want to pull back a little bit so you land on your 2 back wheels. Once you hit the runway, if you want to, you can deploy the landing parachute by pulling this lever here. And you can also pull back on your speed brake switch on your throttle to open the speed brakes to help you slow down. You can also slow down with the brake pedals. Once you have slowed down enough, you can go ahead and close your speed brakes. And you can get rid of the parachute by clicking on this again, and then click it again. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you later.